you can maybe assume a trusted core, but what is if the PE is at the customer side, it's on the customer's control? Yes, the ability to change also not the transport labels, or also the labels back in the backbone, and can so maybe more than one customer terminates on one PE device, and if you give the PE device out of hand, maybe you don't do that, but in the end you are in the core and you have cables to the core, and this is the most biggest probability where you can access such a core. And we did an evaluation of where we asked different MPLS providers if they would give us the PE device under our control, and about 60 to 80% answered with yes, which you can assume, okay, every other customer maybe has some PE device, and then there is your trust to the core.
Okay. Okay, if you think it's secure enough, we're fine. We're running out of time, so I have to go on quickly. Our last technology we want to discuss is called Metro Ethernet. It's just booming by the time, and it uses different technologies. We're gonna talk about the Ethernet over MPLS, our so-called virtual private lines. And this means
just imagine it as an Ethernet plug which is connected to all your sites and over a switch, but it goes all over the MPLS backbone, and the provider serves that service for you.
Yeah, so you can also, instead of forwarding layer 3 IP packets over your MPLS backbone, you also can forward layer 2 Ethernet frames. And this is actually what Ethernet over MPLS does. It's just like a big virtual cable. It's like you're throwing in an Ethernet cable from Amsterdam to, I don't know, Brussels or to New York. So, but this definitely changed your trust model. If you got a layer 3 VPN, you get some border of trust. You got your layer 3 device, which does actually routing. But now you include the whole carrier network into your zone of trust, and because you're forwarding layer 2 frames, you don't got the routing process anymore. So with this different zone of trust, there might be existing threats that get a new scope. So think about Ethernet-based attacks that come over the cloud, or misconfiguration will have a much larger impact. Think about some VTP-speaking device which is configured with a very high revision number and not set to mode transparent and just connected to the MPLS extended layer 2 local Ethernet. No, not local, global Ethernet, stuff like that. But there might also new threats showing up. Something like your, skip this. But one of the main threats is that there are some traditional Ethernet-based attacks that are now able to run over the cloud. So if you're sitting in Brussels and got an Ethernet over MPLS tunnel to your site in Amsterdam, you're able to do some kind of layer 2 attacks. Think about the spanning tree route of both sides sitting in one. You can do layer 2 based attack. We've tested this with Yersinia. Actually, most of the Yersinia attacks, like they work. If they work, they work. Also over the cloud. And you can do something like ARP spoofing from Brussels to the site in Amsterdam. So ARP spoofing isn't anymore a local problem, but it's a global problem. You can now force traffic to leave your site in Amsterdam. Okay, so MPLS TON, the tool, also can build up a layer 2 endpoint. This means we can also take part of the layer 2 network. We don't get a demo for this, and for completeness, we also coded an LDP, command line interface. LDP is a label distribution protocol which is needed for propagate LDP information about layer 2 VPN endpoints. Okay, so short wrap up on carrier Ethernet. It's a really interesting approach. think about you got some crazy vendor-dependent protocol which actually need layer 2 to work. You can now extend your site by layer 2 from Brussels to Amsterdam. But it changed your whole trust model of Ethernet. Ethernet, till this technology, was a local problem. You get something like physical security against it. Now physical security isn't actually something you can do against these attacks. Okay, we wanted to save the best for the best for last, which from the bingo again, nobody will ever try to do this. It's insert into multi-protocol BGP, which means we are not inserting IP routing information anymore, but inserting customer VPN information into your BGP process. Got 7 minutes left, so maybe I can show this demo, hopefully. Okay, we'll skip this demo. If someone is interested in it, we will have a large workshop after. So, summary and outlook. There are some technologies used in backbones that are got kind of debatable trust model, and so you need some new security controls to work against these threats. Okay, and we just want to make you intent of these problems, so be aware, MPLS isn't just some magic that just works, it can break too. Always think about a trusted core is assumed, it's that simple. Okay, some final wisdom, as RFC 1925 says, read for yourself, and if you're really interested in your stuff, just get your hands on some devices and test that shit. Okay, this actually leads me to the next thing. We've planned a little workshop with our MPLS lab. We got some more devices to build up a big backbone. We'll hold in Village Fubar, or maybe we will find a better location. I don't know how much people are interested in. And we'll start in around half an hour, and it's open-end, so join the whole night. And please bring your devices. Bring MPLS-capable devices. Okay, so there's never time enough. We hurried up. You got 5 minutes for questions.
At last we have a little bit less, so 1 or 2 questions, because you guys are always there.
Yeah.
So
right.
1 or 2 questions, please. Oh.
Okay, so maybe I missed it because I had to step out to take a call for a moment. But you guys promised to say something, or you said the design is wrong. I think you were talking about BGP at the moment. So what is the right design?
It's not about a wrong and a right design. It's just about the design assumes the core is trusted. That's the point. If you got a trusted core, you're fine. If you don't get a trusted core, you got all these problems. It's that simple. It's not a big design clue, as you said, okay, I can break you all the time. It's just, if you got a trusted core, you're perfect. Absolutely fine. But if not...
Okay, one last short question, please.
If you do not fully trust your